It's a simple but demanding question.
The communities is not value. Try to clear room so that their faces can. This committee is being and seen. So you're welcome. We have the national woman leader. Here on the membership.
Democratic Congress and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
We have Ambassador Adio here. Senator Guest Ambassador, are you with us? Very comfortably. This is Deputy National Secretary of the party. We have Pala. The last time. Mohammed Jibril Yusufari. We have Professor Anthony Kila. The national chairman of the ADC.
The responsibility this inauguration places on us as a political party on a rescue mission and as citizens of a country in distress. Across the country, families are working harder and earning lesser. Food prices rise faster than wages, salaries, and incomes can cope. Power supply remains epileptic, even as tariffs increase astronomically. Strangely, the APC government continues to aggravate the citizens' tax burdens. Insecurity continues to disrupt people's Insecurity continues to disrupt the people's social and economic life. Nigerians are suffering today more than any other time in our history. Poverty stares us in the face. Yes, poverty and hardship have always existed, but the hardship and the poverty that Nigerians are experiencing under the APC administration has gotten worse. This situation has been brought about and compounded by government vicious policies. What Nigerians therefore desperately looking for are credible alternative ideas, actions, and policies. They want policies that would improve their lives today and lay a solid foundation on which they can improve their future. They want policies that show compassion. Nigerians are not looking for clever arguments. They want policies and actions that show that government understands what they are going through and is prepared to act with clarity, courage, and most importantly, with compassion. This is what the African Democratic Congress represents, a party that puts the people first. Nigerians are not looking for who to blame for their suffering. They already know who is responsible for that. And just in case there is anyone in the room here who doesn't know, it is the APC administration. They're looking for who will ease the pains. They want real practical solutions that address the challenges of today, not policies that expect them to continue to give endlessly. One thing I've noticed over the years, and I'm sure most of you in the room here can attest to, is that Nigeria does not suffer from shortage of ideas. What we suffer from is a failure to correct ideas to reality. Too often, policy in this country has been an academic exercise, detached from the very people it is meant to serve. Documents are produced, committees are set up, reports are written, white papers are produced, yet nothing changes in the lives of the people, which is what matters the most. Policy is not about sounding intelligent. It is not about volume or complexity. You must resist the temptation to treat symptoms while ignoring causes. You must go beneath the surface. You must think out of the box. You must act hard. You must ask hard questions about why things are not working in this country. This is the burden before this committee. In recent years, government has continued to regale us with statistics about increased revenue, economic growth, and GDP performance. These figures are meaningless when they do not positively affect the lives of the people. A growing economy that leaves the majority of the people behind in poverty is fundamentally flawed. Economic progress must be measured by its impact on people's lives, not by statistics alone. Take energy, for example. When energy is expensive and unreliable, productivity collapses, businesses struggle, jobs disappear, and poverty deepens. Any serious policy conversation must be anchored on a simple but crucial question: how do we make energy affordable and accessible to the majority of our people? Government has removed fuel subsidy. The question is not whether subsidy removal is desirable or not. The real question is whether the people now paying more for fuel can see tangible benefits reflected in other areas of their lives. Clearly, the answer is no. Nobody can see any positive effect on the removal of fuel subsidy. Nigerians who are paying more for fuel, for food, for medications, for transportation, for housing, and electricity are asking very pertinent questions. What would their party do differently? We must answer with clarity, firm commitment, and measurable outcomes that they can feel and see, not propaganda. There must be no ambiguity in our answer. This is the task before your committee. My dear Chief, consider transport and mobility. This is not merely a question of how much we spend on roads. Transport determines access to work, markets, schools, and hospitals. When movement becomes unaffordable, opportunity shrinks. Our party's policy must ensure that transportation remains a social and economic lifeline for our people. Food and agriculture demand the same seriousness. This sector goes beyond farming alone. Insecurity, poor storage, weak supply chains, and rising input costs mean farmers produce less while consumers pay more. Until we understand how security, infrastructure, finance, and climate pressures intersect with food production, we will continue to treat hunger as an accident rather than a policy failure. We must also confront security not as another budget line, but as a lived reality. Insecurity is not only about loss of life, it is about abandoned farms, displaced communities in IDP camps, kidnapping, closed schools, and an atmosphere of fear that suffocates economic activity. A country that cannot secure its people cannot grow its economy, no matter how impressive its plans appear on paper. Healthcare is equally critical. It is not measured by the number of hospitals built, but more so by access and affordability. E-health pushes families into poverty faster than almost anything else. A policy framework that fails to grasp this connection will always underestimate the true cause of neglect. Sound quality education and human capital deserve the same consideration. Education is not successful simply because classrooms exist. It succeeds when learning happens, when skills are acquired, and when young people are equipped to compete meaningfully in the global economy. Education is a sine qua non to development. In this regard, I charge this committee to look into the possibility of criminalizing actions of parents who fail to send their children to school. We must also pay attention to jobs, small businesses, and the informal economy, because this is where most Nigerians are active participants. When policies ignore how people actually earn a living, they fail even before they start.
Is to get a message, policies, proposals that will attract and commit. What is happening today in this country is that the entire population of this nation are watching the ADC. They're giving up on every other person. That's clear. They haven't thrown themselves fully 100% into our net yet. So they are watching everything that we do. And the charge you are giving us today is that we should help the party develop policies, help the party come out with a manifesto that will tie, that will become a contract, that will tie the nation, that will make everybody in this country see as the years go by what difference an ADC government is making to their lives. And that is something I want to promise you. We will exact every net. What happens normally from experience? You mentioned it in passing. Is that we have spent trillions with very little to show for it in terms of the lives of the people. Why? Immediately a manifesto is written, I'm not sure it doesn't go straight into the archives. Because if you remember, the emperors that govern us usually come out with their own programs immediately. Even their programs they don't faithfully execute. Because the reality today is that we are in a contractor governed nation. Proposals are prepared by contractors. The profits are already shared by all those who have interest. Pressures are put on the governor or the presidency official. The project gets approved. Nothing to do with even his own program that he came with. Certainly nothing to do with the manifesto they have already approved. So we are going to, from what you yourself have said, have policies that the ordinary man can identify with, programs that the ordinary man can identify with. The result of what we have been doing, let me go back one step, is that there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of everything in this nation, but you cannot name a single area in this nation in which the problems, the challenges have been ameliorated. Not one. Decades on and decades on. You cannot point to electricity which you mentioned and say, at least we have power. You cannot point to transportation and say, at least I can drive home comfortably. You cannot sleep and be in your house and say, I'm secure without buying all the mental reinforcements and everything that to prevent or make it difficult and challenging for somebody who wants to attack. So the drama, the message, the attitude the approach to governance must change. And we're adopting your beautiful statement, and I want to say we are going to do everything in our power. The party, to some extent, must be able to influence those they put in government. We must find an imaginative way. We must not elect them to become emperors, and we all dance around looking for petty jobs to do. Meanwhile, the people that put us there have been totally, they're not relevant anymore. So things are going to change. We are going to, through your leadership, the message you have so eloquently, very eloquently, passed on to us today. Do our very best to ensure that the path that you have now clearly enunciated will become the mantra of this party, that will bring the entire nation to know finally that yes, they are watching us. Are they serious? Are they going to be different from the others who some of them are the same faces? But I think the manifesto that we hope the party will finally adopt in a language that the ordinary man can understand and see how he himself fits into it, will change the dynamics of politics in this nation. I thank you once again for what you are doing. And on behalf of my colleagues, I've read the names, I've looked at a few of the cases, and I'm very glad, very happy that you've given us a formidable team to work with. And it is a hope that at the end of the exercise, you will have every reason to say, yes, thank you, please, make the right choice. God bless you, sir.